This is a core of the Milk River Formation, and we've only pulled one box because there's only one trace fossil we want to show you in here. The Milk River Formation in this case is from the Alderson Field in southeast Alberta, and in the location it's an intercalation of siltstones, mudstones, clay stones and sandstones. And the Milk River Formation is Santonian to Campanian in age, about 84 million years old, give or take. And for sure, in the Alderson area, it's a prolific gas producer. But as I mentioned earlier, what we're really interested here is just the one trace fossil. And what you'll see in this image here is that there are little pairs of burrows that seem to be lining up with each other. You see it here and there. And a good question is, what are we looking at? And the best way to see the answer is to just flip that core over, and you'll see that these are meandering trace fossils that are exploiting food resources, probably between laminations or laminae. These meanders, if you follow this around, you'll see they're continuous. And they do cross each other, and this whole bed is being quite heavily exploited, suggesting a good food resource was deposited within the sediment there. Meandering trace fossils cover quite a bit of ground in the ichnofossil record. There's many, many different types. That includes Helminthopsis, Helminthoidae, I should say, Cosmoraphy, Phycosiphon, and there actually are several others. And they're really hard to differentiate in core. When we see these simple meanders like this, we're really comfortable calling them Helminthopsis. But remember, when you see them in side view, they might all look an awful lot alike. So I'm not going to, right now, try to convince you that there's a difference between some types of meandering traces and others, or trace fossils and others. But what is important to know is all of these meandering trace fossils, for the most part, are showing that there's exploitation of food resources that is associated with a good abundant food resource at whatever interface the animal is mining at. And so these are a good indicator of food resource distribution, and they are associated with marine environments. And if you were to say that in general you see these primarily between the distal offshore or lower offshore and upper offshore, I think that would be a fair enough statement. But we do see them in turbidites, for example, as well. So very, very deep water. Here's an example here from Zeilacher's book, Adolf Zeilacher's book from 2007, Trace Fossil Analysis, that shows Helminthoida labyrinthica. And this is basically a trace fossil that's emplaced at the sediment-water interface or near the sediment-water interface following sediment gravity flow turbidite events.